Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to some more Total War Shogun 2. Today we are diving in and taking a look at the brand new update for the Scramble of the East mod. If you've never heard of this mod, this is basically a mod set in the Victorian era focused around China, Korea and Japan. However, the modder does have grand plans for this mod to continue adding in more parts of the East, and as well as that adding in parts of North Africa and a ton of other parts of the map, which is super exciting. I think it's going to make for an amazing campaign once it's done, and it does now have a playable campaign with added regions in Korea as well as northern parts of China and a sliver of Russia as well. You can play as a ton of factions in this mod, and I will go ahead and make sure I link it down below in the description, so if you guys are interested in what you're seeing, you can go ahead and download it over on ModDB. Unfortunately, because of the way the Shogun 2 workshop is, it doesn't allow you to upload more than 100 megabyte files, and obviously this mod has a lot of content in it, so that really does suck, and I really hope Creative Assembly one day just go ahead and change that, because it would make such a big difference to the Shogun 2 modding community. So CA, if you're out there listening, please change that, because yeah, it'd be amazing if we could get bigger mods on the Shogun 2 workshop. It's different for Rome and so on, but yeah, Shogun 2 unfortunately hasn't got any love, so hopefully we'll see that in the future. So you have a lot of the Western colonial nations, such as the Netherlands. We have the United Kingdom, Prussia, America, and France. These guys are all part on the Japanese island, all having kind of like headquarters. The Americans start down here. The Netherlands start off over there, as that was kind of one of their more famous trading ports. You got the Prussians, got a base over there. You've got the the British, kind of more in central Japan. And then you have two alliances which are set up. So you have the Northern Alliance, and we also have the Sako Alliance as well. But not only that, we also have Korea, obviously on Korea. We have China in the north. There's only a sliver of China. I'm assuming kind of probably the next update will add in a lot more of the Chinese land, kind of the Chinese coastline, which will be really awesome. Obviously, you can then like play out more of the Opium Wars, and that'll give Britain more of a direction in that. And then you also have a bit of Russia up there, so you can kind of play as any of these factions. There are obviously unique units for all the factions. So let's go ahead and just take a look. I don't know, let's jump in as Korea, so I can show off the map and show off the awesome new features. And I think Korea have a handful of interesting storylines in the campaign. Your objective as Korea is to just take some land and then make a decision who you're wanting to support, whether it is the Shogun or if it is the Emperor. So you can kind of really decide up what you want to have happen and play that. And Korea starts off as a pretty strong faction. Obviously, a lot of Japan is going to be fractured, supporting the daimyo or the Shogun. And, you know, Korea as a whole is pretty well secure. Obviously, you're going to be, if you do plan on invading the lands, you're going to have to worry about a lot of the higher civilized nations such as Britain and France and the Netherlands and stuff. Obviously they're going to have guns, whereas you as Korea don't have access to a ton of units. If I find a Korean army really quickly, you can see their units. If we go over to recruit, you know, you've got a lot of these swordsmen, and you don't really have many riflemen yet. Obviously as you go through the text, you'll develop that and it'll make it much better. But yeah, I mean, overall, really awesome update. And yeah, as you can see, this is going to be Korea right now. Obviously, only part of Korea, but I assume mod is going to get bigger and bigger as they add in more map sizes. And it's going to be very interesting, I think, when the modder does continue to expand the map and make it bigger and bigger, because you don't want to obviously spam the entire map with regions everywhere. So it'll be interesting to see how he does approach that. If he does, as the map gets bigger, he reduces the amount of cities, but maybe adds in some more like minor buildings like the province system, kind of like maybe a completely separate like city or village type of province right here, which will kind of populate the surrounding areas. Could be a nice way of approaching it, because Shogun 2 has a very cool feature in the way it has railroads. So as the map gets bigger, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because you can use these railroads. At the moment, the Koreans don't have access to them, but you can use these railroad stations to travel large distances across the map, which is really cool, because it means you can have a very big map and not have it really affect gameplay as much, because then you can just kind of get on the trains and travel halfway across the world, you know, which is just such a cool thing about Shogun 2. But anyway, sorry, that was a bit of a tangent. So obviously we have the Korean lands up here. We are allied, I believe, at the beginning of the game with the Chinese, who just have a settlement in the north. They do have a full roster though. They do have a full army, which is very cool. New units, we can take a look at them in a second as well, and also a train. They do also start off allied with the Chinese. which is very cool. Allied and trading. And I believe the Chinese, yeah, the Chinese are at war with France and the United Kingdom at the moment. So yeah, that's going to be pretty scary. There's obviously also the Russians as well that could quite easily come over as we traverse the map over here. You also start off with a little island settlement over here as well, which will be a nice little naval base. If you can get this upgraded, you can get access to some pretty deadly ships. And again, obviously this is full of the samurai, so you have the whole shore bombardment as well. Whenever you fight a battle where you've got a navy next to it, the navy, you can actually use that to bombard the coastlines. Which again, this is so awesome. Shogun 2 is such an amazing game. We also have custom settlements as well. This has a handful of custom settlements from the coastal map pack. So a lot of the maps are going to be completely unique and interesting and different. And that's all just built into this mod. So obviously as Korea, I think your first objective obviously is to kind of probably take these outer islands, start kind of circling around, and then start making your landfall. Obviously finding allies into Japan is going to be a very important idea. I assume there is also, yeah, unique resources as well. So you've got kind of like smithing. Obviously all the buildings have been updated as well. Do I have a settlement that is upgraded anywhere? Or I can take a look at some of the buildings. You have like cadet schools, which will allow you to level up your soldiers. And you can continue to get that. But obviously, yeah, Korea is going to be a hard start for sure, just because you're going to be so outclassed by like the Western powers. But it'll be interesting to try and take that down. Yeah, you have like a smelting plant over here. So obviously complete custom buildings and stuff like that. So let's quickly just jump out and we'll load in as maybe one of the colonial nations, and we'll take a look at their start. Let's take a look at America really quickly. And then what I think I will do is load in as the British and just quickly, you know, take a look at their start and maybe even fight a battle or something. Could be a really, really cool setup. So yeah, but do let me know in the comments down below what you guys do think of the mod. Is it something that you're going to be going back and reinstalling Shogun 2 for? I do highly recommend it. I also do highly recommend going over and just checking the mod DB page as well, kind of seeing what's planned for the future, seeing what the modder has, you know, has in store for us, because Shogun 2 is the last of the truly moddable Total Wars. Shogun 2, you could basically do anything you wanted to, and that's why you're seeing stuff like the Last Alliance rise up, which is the Lord of the Rings mod set in the Second Age. That's why you're seeing this mod example blow up, because, you know, modders are realizing that the newer games just aren't as moddable. So you can go back to Shogun 2 and have a really, really good kind of canvas to put your painting on. And again, Shogun 2 is one of the greatest Total Wars of all time, if not the greatest Total War of all time, in my opinion. It really is just such a polished game, and going back and playing it, I really do realize how good it actually was, which I'm really, really impressed with, especially with like Master of Strategy. You also have this little kind of introduction up here, which is kind of suggesting what you're doing in Japan and what you should be trying to do. Obviously, the Americans start off kind of in a pretty strong position to start moving in and taking more of this Japanese land as best as they can. They have an army set up in the south, so a lot of these Marines ready to push on. They also have some 6-pounder cannons, some decent cavalry as well. They have a nice little setup of recruitment. They can obviously get some pretty elite infantry right off the bat if they wanted to, but these guys are going to be pushing forward and securing that land. One of the great things about the Americans is they have a very strong fleet, actually. If we go over here, you can see they've already got the wooden hulls and also the armor upgrades unlocked. So a lot of these ships, the Americans, I imagine, will be spamming these out and really kind of just dominating the coastline and securing this land as quickly as possible. We obviously also have a few generals as well. So as well as that, the tech trees are obviously completely unique to, I think, the majority of the Western colonial factions have this. I'm not sure if the Chinese, Japanese, and Koreans have different tech trees. I'm sure that's planned in the future. But you can see there is a complete revamp, and I love, again, with Fall of a Samurai, how you have this industrialization, which, you know, gives you bonuses and allows you to hit future techs and stuff like that. Again, just a really, really solid DLC to kind of build a canvas of. But obviously, you can upgrade your ships and get better ones and improve to yeah, scarier stuff. And obviously you have naval battles, which is something you don't have in future Total Wars, obviously. But yeah, so the Americans will obviously be pushing northwards, taking that on. You also have a faction management as well, so you can, right here you can see we got Perry, Matthew right here leading them. You have your objectives, what you want to try and do. You obviously have your family council as well, so you have your generals married, and you can obviously assign your brothers or your cabinet, which I think this is kind of like a default Shogun 2 thing, which is very, very nice. And it also tells you who you're supporting, whether it's for Shogun, you're pro-USA. Apparently you can change that. Convert allegiance. Click here to turn back on your allegiance and support the Imperial Japanese cause. Interesting. I wonder how that works. So we're obviously pro-American. So we've just done that. What happens now? We're now pro-Shogun. I wonder if that'd be an interesting kind of mechanic to, you know, whether or not you're, or like how it affects it. I'm kind of curious how that does affect it. This would be a really good position for like a tooltip. Like you hover over your allegiance and it tells you you're pro-American. So this means you're trying to do this. Yeah, that's quite cool. That's quite cool indeed. Okay, so I quickly also wanted to show off one of the alliances as well, one of the actual Japanese clan factions. And down here we do have the Sako Alliance right now. They are going to be pro-Shogunate, I believe. Yeah, pro-Emperor, sorry. So they're going to be fighting the good cause there. Their diplomacy is going to be set up, and obviously you're going to be able to see the clans are kind of your opposite, which aren't supporting your own faction. You're also allied with the British, so they'll be supporting you in that, and you've got some trades as well. And also a pretty nice war, but you can already see like the differences in their class. A lot of their units, or pretty much all their units, are going to be, you know, kind of samurai, Yarishigaru, and they're going to have to kind of develop through a tech tree, I assume, to actually unlock them guns. And you can see their tech tree is completely different. So yeah, obviously getting down here to get the military school and actually getting some cannons and some guns and better ships and stuff is going to be very, very important for them. You can also see as well their buildings are going to be fairly similar, but I think a few of these buildings are going to be a little bit different. So upgrading that, obviously you have your dockyard again. Well, your port will be banging out the more ancient ships rather than the Western ones, so you're going to have to go through that. So it's going to be a completely different like play style, whether or not you're fighting for or against the Shogun, as well as that you can also switch allegiances as well if you want to go ahead and support the Shogun instead. Which is going to be a very, very interesting story if you want to go ahead and do that. So yeah, as I said, let's go ahead and load in as the British, and we'll just kind of go and fight a battle really quickly so you guys can see a little bit about what the combat is like, because obviously a lot of animations have been added for combat and stuff, and you'll be able to see how that does all play out in battle. So before we load in as well, just like how awesome this back screen is as well. I absolutely love it. And that's one of the amazing things, again, about Fall of the Samurai, as we'll load in as the British, is that in Fall of the Samurai, you actually have these coastal batteries that if a naval battle was taking place besides a coastal battery, which was like a fortification on the map, it would actually appear in the battle map, and you'd actually have cannons supporting you. So if the enemy ships came too close to you, the cannons on the shore would actually bombard it. That's like so amazing. It's just really look backing on this game. It's just like, oh man, I wish these features were in future Total Wars, because having like that coastal battery was just so goddamn cool. So as for British, do we start off at war with anyone? We actually start off at war with nobody, but nobody likes us. We have a few allies, obviously, but there is a lot of enemies. We also start off at war with the Chinese, and we just have an alliance with the Satoko Alliance. I don't really know too much about the Boshin Wars. Obviously, it's, you know, Emperor versus Shogun, and the powers are meddling. But yeah, I don't actually know like kind of what the situation is overall. So I guess we will just go ahead and take on one of these forces and yeah, move on. We have a pretty large army as well already set up. So I guess we're just going to head down and take on the Sayama and kill them out. So let's just march down. I think we also have, we can probably get a recruitment or two out of here as well. Now everything is taking 2 turns down here, which is fine. We just won't bother. I think our army will be more than strong enough to take them on with a cannon. We obviously have some Sepoy infantry. We have some colonial foot and also some cavalry, led by Hawkins Wilbur, and we also have a 6-inch cannon as well. Again, obviously, I imagine a lot of the factions around this area will be, you know, will at least be some factions that are fairly well developed as well, which will obviously have to be dealt with at some point. But yeah, obviously, as a colonial power, you're probably going to be receiving a lot of foreign prejudice against you, and you're going to have to really fight a lot of people. But obviously you have that superior weaponry, which I'm sure will play a big role in it. So yeah, let's end this. So you also start with 21k as well, so you can probably start to convince a few factions to join your way through diplomacy. But as I said, oh my god, there's a bridge all the way there. Okay, what I will do is I will make my way up here, we'll declare war, and then I'll bring it to you guys when we're in the battle. Okay, so we got ourselves a battle there. The enemy forces are going to be pretty basic. Only a bunch of levy militias. Some cannons, though. Some light mortars are going to be painful. We also did take a ton of attrition as well as we made our way through the winter Totally forgot about that. And you can see, I believe this is one of the custom maps. I don't remember any Shogun 2 map being like this. So again, you're going to start to see some of the awesome battle maps as well you're going to have to take. And I definitely forgot. It's been a long time since I've last played Shogun 2. I forgot how brutal sieges were. Like, taking a castle, you're going to take heavy casualties. As long as there's like a remotely strong, or at least even not even a remotely strong, as long as there's a remote force there, you're going to take heavy casualties. Like, you know, going up, like climbing up through these defenses, it takes a while, and you're just all that time getting pounded by cannon fire and gunfire. It really is very, very brutal. One of the things we probably could have done to help us out here is maybe bring up a fleet. Could have been pretty nice. Let's see if we can get a nice clear day. I do remember Shogun 2 being super foggy though. Oh my god. I was joking. I say super foggy. That's an extreme. There is definitely a mod though that does remove how foggy it does actually get, which I definitely probably would recommend using. You can also see as well, you have several formations. Obviously, this being Napoleonic, you kind of rely on it. So you can toggle by rank fire, you can toggle kneel fire, you can form a square. You have a few bonuses as well you can pop off, which is nice, in guard mode, which is always good. So I guess we will just attack the front of the settlement. We'll set up our cannon as well, maybe on this flank. We will obviously unlimber it as well, and just maybe start bombarding a few of these archery towers. It shouldn't be too hard to take this out. Obviously, our soldiers aren't really well equipped for fighting, you know, hand to hand, even though we obviously do have the bayonets and stuff, so it's not going to be too scary. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and start bombarding the archery tower, and we'll also get on view of it as well, so we can take a nice little look about that. Hopefully these cannons will unleash. You can start to see some of the units as well. So as we go down the battle line, obviously we got the colonial foot here, which is very cool. We got the flags as well. I really love the flags, the way they just kind of float in. It looks amazing when you've got a big old battle. You obviously have more infantry down here. Where's the sepoy infantry as well? Yeah, the sepoy infantry all the way over here as well. You can see these boys ready for combat with their bayonets already fixed, which is nice. Is this cannon going to shoot, or does it not have line of sight? It says it's firing, but I think it doesn't have line of sight somehow. Does it not? Can we maybe shoot this instead? Yeah, they can shoot this side. Okay, cool. Well, I guess we will start to push up with some of our infantry. We've got the colonial foot, which will start pushing up through the village. So let's move that. We'll go into 2 lines as well. Yeah, 2 lines will be good enough for me. You guys still can't shoot? Okay, I position these guys. So let's limber these bad boys back up. And then we'll get the cannon maybe on the side here. This is a little bit more of a better hill, which they can probably fire on. I probably wasn't paying too much attention with these houses in the front. We also do have a unit of Royal Marines as well. So these guys are going to be pretty important, actually storming the enemy position. So cannon is formed up, and as soon as it is, we'll get it around the flank. But yeah, this is going to be a hard settlement to take. It's not going to be an easy one. Obviously, got trenches embedded. We could look to maybe assault up here, where it's a little bit easier. And obviously, they've got that inner layer as well right there. Are we already getting shot at? Okay, some units can shoot over here, which is nice. Firing off a couple volleys at the enemy line. They're pretty well protected, though. I think we do actually outrange them, which is nice. So let's get this cannon set up maybe over on this right-hand side. Yeah, on this little hill right here, which have a much better angle. And if we can, we'll tell them to run their way over there. Oh, they're bringing out some cavalry? Oh, God. Let's get some cavalry to countercharge, maybe. And we might have to form a square if we're not careful. They could be going after my cannon as well. The AI. Oh, my God. This is, like, smarter than any AI ever. They're actually going after my cannon. Do we have to form a square here? Yeah, let's get into square here. No, they're not going after my cannon, thank God. We'll form a square, get our cavalry in, and that should be able to deal with that. But nice little aggressive charge there by the AI. God damn. Cannon should be set up now, so let's toggle them down. And they shouldn't have any issue taking care of this cannon or destroying anything else. Let's just move in there and yeah, deal with that. But yeah, my God, that was a ballsy move by the AI. You can see some of their, obviously, their Shogun-esque units here as well. This cannon is unlimbered. Should be able to shoot now. I've got some more cavalry moving around. I have to be very careful with that. I really, really do. Please say the cannon can shoot now. Seems like it's having a ton of issues. I don't know if the trees are in the way, maybe, but maybe they need a clean line of sight, but they should be good, like. Seemingly, they just can't shoot anything. I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, I think the trees are literally holding them apart. Which I guess makes sense, considering they can't shoot over them, so they probably don't want to shoot through them. You guys would like shoot here? Fire at something, please. Maybe I can shoot them. Can I just manually shoot them? Yeah. Seemingly they need like a bigger incline. Yeah, they can shoot there, so there's obviously some like trajectory issue. Maybe a bigger hill. Either way. So we managed to kill them, so let's get our soldiers out of this and let's start storming the barricades. We have plenty of infantry, shouldn't be too much of an issue. I obviously would have loved to have secured that, but are these guys tired as well? How's our morale? They were eager. Let's move up and let's try and take this gatehouse. We're going to take a massive volley fire there, though, which is not good. More infantry moving up. We'll move our gemmer up as well. I guess this cannon? I don't really know where to put this cannon. Honestly, I guess we'll do that. How many men have we lost? We're losing a decent amount of men. I think their mortars are opening up on me as well, which is not good. We'll watch our soldiers moving forward as the volley fires do come in. Yeah, their infantry. Luckily, their infantry won't be super solid overrunning me. You guys gonna climb up, please? It's awesome as well how we're like in this trench as well. I really, really do dig that. Oh my god, they're running. Yeah, as you can see, Shogun 2 sieges are absolutely brutal. I would love my cannon to actually be able to fire on them as a mortar just descends upon me as well. Oh my god, I'm going to lose this battle. This is hilarious. Not even my cannon being able to get stuck in. Can I get my general up here really quickly? Maybe just pop a rally off? Yeah, these colonial foot are running, which again, makes complete sense. They're basically charging musket lines. Definitely something that I think people underestimate as well is just how scary melee bayonet combat was. Like charging into enemy fire and then having to like basically fight someone with a knife on a stick is just absolutely yeah, absolutely insane. And yeah, nobody wanted to do that. There's like a nice little rally down here. We get more soldiers up. At least we've got soldiers up on that side. Over on this side, we're still struggling a little bit. And yeah, their soldiers are brutal. Let's see if we can get the cannon up there. We honestly need to try and take this gatehouse as quickly as possible. With a musket fire, though, we're going to be able to hit the enemy back fairly nicely. And we just need to silence these guns. There's some infantry up here with the bayonets fighting. Oh, that guy getting sliced by the sword. But more of our soldiers are climbing in. The flag, protect the flag, pick it up and fight. We're actually falling back, which is nice. Really nice for us, actually. We need to, like, form up a line so we can start firing in on them. Did we break this unit break as well? Oh, this unit broke. Come on. My god, I cannot believe how difficult this has been, though. These guys should form up. They've got cavalry coming at me again. Yeah, our cavalry's been getting bombarded by the artillery. Another line company getting up there. I can't believe these guys broke with 180 men. I guess they are literally bottom of the barrel, though. A cavalry charge here. Obviously, in a normal campaign, I would not fight this battle. I'd make sure I at least get a full stack. And I definitely do miss sieges being this difficult as well. I really, really do. Sieges used to be very, very telling about being how difficult it is. Are they coming out at me? Let's set up our cannon here as well. So like normally, obviously, what I'd probably do before assaulting the settlement, obviously more infantry. Even if they're trash, it's fine. I'd definitely bring some more cannons as well. Cannons capable of really bombarding this. And I would probably, if I had more time, skirmish a lot more with them as well. They are straight out charging me as well. Okay, we still have our Marines though, and I'd probably send the Marines in first as well to really do the damage. But hopefully this is just giving you a good idea about how the campaign works, kind of how the cannons work. Can we now shoot, like up here? We're taking that tower at least. A unit of infantry here as well. Yeah, so the cannons should be capable of destroying this now. This is the way that the settlement's set up, I guess, which obviously is pretty designed. Oh my god, you see that? The mortar ranging down on my Marines as they attempt to clean up there. Brutal. Yeah, the cannons must just really need like a straight trajectory, at least these colonial field cannons. Because they literally can't shoot anything. Yeah, we literally can only just shoot straight in front of us. So I guess we need to almost be looking down on something almost. Yeah, we can just get our shot like that, which obviously don't be any good whatsoever. Interesting, interesting, interesting. The enemy are literally pushing out at me. Okay, well, it's gonna get to you guys to volley in. Even after heavy mortar fire. And they're already looking to retreat. Yeah, absolute shitters. Not good whatsoever. But that's why I'm going to leave the video today. Before you guys see my inevitable defeat by the defending enemy. I also had so much infantry. Wait, they have the 2 mortars back here. And also a decent line of armed citizenry as well, just defending the inner layer. So AI, doing a pretty decent job. But yeah, definitely go out and check this mod out. I'll leave you guys with our Marines fighting bravely on the one unit that can actually probably stand up, and probably a unit I should have sent in first, honestly, covered by an infantry unit. They could have actually probably cleared out all of this because the Marines are really good. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this. Make sure you go check out the mod over on ModDB, and I'll see you guys in the next one.